Imagine opening a bag of jelly beans and picking your favorite flavor. Maybe strawberry, maybe blueberry, maybe buttered popcorn. But what if I told you that the tiny candy in your hand didn't start as a jelly bean at all? Inside a real candy factory, it begins as a sticky liquid poured into strange powder molds, then slowly transformed through layers, colors, and flavors. Machines shake them, coat them, and polish them, sometimes for days. And during that time, something surprising happens inside every single bean. Because a jelly bean isn't just one candy, it's actually built piece by piece. Jelly beans look like the simplest candy in the world, but once you see what actually happens inside the factory, you'll never look at them the same way again. Inside the factory's flavor laboratory, food scientists begin the process by developing the exact taste profile each jelly bean must deliver. Shelves filled with hundreds of concentrated flavor oils line the lab, ranging from fruit extracts like cherry and lemon to unusual profiles like buttered popcorn and toasted marshmallow. Technicians measure these flavor oils in extremely small quantities using precision digital scales, because even a tiny difference can completely change the final taste. The selected flavors are blended with liquid sugar bases inside small stainless steel mixing vessels used specifically for flavor testing. Each blend is heated slightly to simulate the high temperatures it will experience later during the candy cooking process. Samples are then cooled and tasted by quality specialists to confirm the flavor remains strong after heating. If the taste weakens or changes during testing, the formula is adjusted until it remains stable in hot sugar syrup. At the same time, color technicians determine the exact shade each flavor will require during the coating stage. Strawberry beans must have a soft pink tone, while blueberry beans require a deeper blue color to match consumer expectations. Once both flavor intensity and color profile meet the factory standards, the final formula is approved for large-scale production. The approved flavor concentrates are then transferred to larger holding tanks near the cooking section of the plant. These tanks will later feed the flavor compounds directly into the hot candy syrup during manufacturing.
But once the flavors are ready, the real candy production begins, where massive kettles start cooking the sugary base that will eventually become millions of jelly beans.
As we leave the flavor laboratory, the camera enters a much louder and hotter section of the factory known as the candy kitchen. Here, massive stainless steel cooking kettles, some holding hundreds of gallons, begin preparing the liquid candy base for the jelly bean centers. Refined sugar, corn syrup, and purified water are pumped into these kettles through automated ingredient pipelines. Industrial mixers rotate slowly inside the kettles, constantly stirring the syrup so the sugar dissolves evenly without forming crystals. Large digital control panels monitor temperature and sugar concentration, because even small changes can affect the final texture of the candy. As the mixture heats, it transforms from a clear liquid into a thick, glossy syrup that will eventually form the chewy center of the jelly bean. At precisely controlled temperatures, starch or gelatin ingredients are added to create the elastic jelly structure. The syrup continues cooking until it reaches the exact viscosity required for molding. Once the candy base reaches specification, the flavor concentrates prepared earlier in the lab are injected into the hot mixture. Powerful pumps then push the thick flavored syrup through insulated stainless steel pipes running across the production floor. These pipes transport the candy mass directly toward the molding department of the factory. From above, the piping network looks like a maze feeding liquid candy to multiple production lines at once.
But the next area of the factory doesn't use metal molds like chocolate factories. Instead, millions of jelly beans are shaped inside giant trays filled with powder.
As the candy syrup leaves the cooking kettles, it enters one of the most unusual areas of the factory, known as the starch molding hall. Instead of metal molds, this entire department is filled with long conveyor lines carrying thousands of shallow trays packed with fine cornstarch. Each tray moves beneath large stamping machines that press jelly bean-shaped impressions into the soft starch surface. The process creates thousands of tiny cavities in every tray, forming temporary molds for the liquid candy. Cornstarch works perfectly for this process because it absorbs moisture while preventing the hot candy from sticking. Above the conveyor system, multi-nozzle depositing machines wait for the incoming candy syrup. The thick, flavored syrup arrives through stainless steel pipes running along the ceiling. Computer-controlled valves release precise droplets into every molded cavity below. Thousands of deposits happen every minute as trays continue moving along the line. Each droplet fills its mold perfectly, forming the early shape of a jelly bean. The trays slowly travel down the line as operators monitor fill accuracy and syrup temperature. By the end of the molding line, each tray contains thousands of freshly deposited candy centers.
But these liquid-filled molds are still extremely fragile, and they now need hours inside special curing rooms before they can even be touched.
After molding, robotic stackers lift the trays and place them onto tall rolling racks holding hundreds of trays at once. These racks are transported into large curing rooms where temperature and humidity are carefully controlled. Inside these rooms, the hot candy slowly cools and begins forming its gel structure. The surrounding cornstarch gradually absorbs moisture from the candy. This drying effect helps the liquid syrup transform into soft jelly centers. Air circulation systems maintain stable airflow so every tray cures evenly. Depending on the recipe, this curing process can take many hours. Technicians regularly inspect trays to confirm the jelly texture has developed properly. If the centers remain too soft, the racks stay in the curing room longer. Once the candy achieves the correct firmness, the racks are removed and returned to the production line. The trays now contain thousands of fully formed jelly centers hidden beneath the starch. These centers finally hold their bean shape, but still appear dull and powder-covered.
And the next machines on the line will reveal them by shaking away all that starch.
The trays move into the demolding section, where mechanical arms flip them upside down over vibrating mesh screens. As the trays shake, the loose cornstarch falls through the screens back into storage bins below. What remains on the surface are thousands of soft jelly centers that were hidden in the powder. These candies now resemble rough, matte jelly beans, but without any outer shell. Conveyor belts carry them through rotating drum sifters to remove any remaining starch particles. Air blowers then pass over the candies to clean off fine dust. Workers inspect samples to ensure the centers hold their shape properly. At this stage, the candies are soft, slightly sticky, and delicate. They cannot yet survive packaging or transportation. To protect them, a hard outer shell must now be built around each center. The cleaned jelly centers are directed toward a different department of the factory. Here, enormous rotating machines, known as panning drums, dominate the floor.
And inside these giant spinning drums, the real jelly bean begins to form layer by layer.
The jelly centers are loaded into large stainless steel panning drums that slowly rotate like giant tumbling barrels. As the drums spin, thousands of candies roll continuously along the inner surface. Operators spray a thin coating of liquid sugar syrup into the moving candies. The tumbling motion spreads the syrup evenly over every surface. Heated air is blown into the drum to dry the syrup layer quickly. Once the first coating dries, another layer of syrup is added. The process repeats again and again as the shell gradually thickens. Each coating strengthens the candy while maintaining the smooth bean shape. Dozens of layers may be applied during this stage. Over time, the once soft centers become protected by a firm outer shell. The beans continue tumbling for hours as coating cycles repeat. Eventually, the shell becomes strong enough for the next stage.
But even now, the candies still look plain and colorless, and the next department finally gives them their bright identity.
The partially finished beans remain inside the panning drums as colored sugar solutions are introduced. These mixtures contain carefully measured food dyes matched to specific jelly bean flavors. Sprayers release fine mists of colored syrup onto the tumbling beans. Warm air again dries each layer as the color builds gradually. Cherry beans turn bright red, while lemon beans develop their signature yellow shade. Blueberry beans receive deep blue coatings, while apple flavors become green. Multiple thin coatings ensure the color spreads evenly across every bean. Optical sensors monitor the shade during production to maintain consistency. Any deviation in color intensity triggers automatic adjustments. As the layers dry, the beans begin to resemble the colorful candies consumers recognize. However, color alone does not create the famous taste. The next coating cycles introduce the flavor compounds.
Because the powerful flavor burst of a jelly bean actually comes from layers added to the shell.
Separate mixing tanks prepare concentrated flavor syrups designed for the coating process. These syrups combine sugar solutions with highly concentrated flavor oils. Inside the panning drums, the beans continue tumbling while the flavored syrup is sprayed onto them. Each coating layer dries before the next one begins. Over multiple cycles, the flavor compounds bond with the shell. This ensures the taste is released immediately when someone bites into the candy. Some flavors require complex blends of multiple ingredients. Buttered popcorn beans, for example, combine sweet and savory flavor compounds. Technicians periodically sample beans during production to verify taste accuracy. Adjustments are made if the flavor intensity falls outside specification. Once the correct taste profile is achieved, the beans move forward to finishing. At this point, the structure, color, and flavor are complete.
But one final process will give the beans the glossy shine seen in every egg.
The finished beans enter high-speed polishing drums positioned at the end of the coating line. These drums rotate faster than the panning machines to create friction between the candies. Small amounts of food-grade carnauba wax are added during the process. The tumbling motion spreads the wax evenly across the shell. As the beans roll against each other, the wax forms a smooth, protective layer. Within minutes, the candies begin developing a glossy surface. The shine also prevents beans from sticking together in storage. This coating protects the shell from humidity and handling damage. The once dull candies now reflect the factory lights with a polished finish. Workers collect samples to verify the shine level meets company standards. After polishing, the beans travel along conveyor belts toward the inspection area. Millions of finished candies move across the belts every hour.
But before any of them reach store shelves, every single bean must pass through an advanced inspection system.
The polished beans spread across wide conveyor belts beneath high-speed optical scanners. These cameras capture images of each candy as it passes underneath. Computer systems analyze color, shape, and surface quality instantly. Beans with cracks, chips, or incorrect coloring are detected immediately. Precision air jets blast defective pieces off the conveyor line in milliseconds. Weight sensors also measure size consistency to ensure uniform texture. Workers conduct random taste tests from each batch to confirm flavor quality. Approved beans move forward into large holding silos above the packaging area. Different flavors remain separated until blending begins. Some product lines combine many flavors into mixed assortments. Others are packaged as single flavor bags. The beans now travel toward the final stage of the factory.
And this final step is where millions of jelly beans are measured, packed, and shipped around the world.
A jelly bean might look like one simple candy, but inside every bean is a carefully built structure. It begins as hot sugar syrup cooked in massive kettles. The liquid candy is molded in trays of cornstarch powder. Hours of curing transform the syrup into soft jelly centers. Rotating panning drums build dozens of protective sugar layers. color coatings give each bean its recognizable appearance. Flavor syrups embed the signature taste into the shell. Polishing drums add the glossy finish that protects the candy. Every stage must occur in the correct order. The entire process can take several days to complete, all for a candy that most people eat in seconds. And that's the incredible factory journey behind Jelly Belly jelly beans. Next time you open a bag of jelly beans, remember what happened before they reached your hand. Massive kettles, endless conveyor lines, giant rotating drums, and millions of candies moving through a factory every day. That's the hidden production story behind Jelly Belly jelly beans, made by Jelly Belly Candy Company.
Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon for more behind-the-scenes food production videos. And tell me in the comments, which factory should we explore next?